Hey there and welcome. Today, we're going to dig into our really complicated relationship with money. We're going to look at what science, psychology, and even some ancient wisdom have to say about what true wealth really is. And I'm telling you, the answers might just surprise you.
So let's just kick things off with a pretty big question, one that's going to frame everything we talk about today. What if we've got it all backwards? What if real financial well-being isn't about stacking up more and more, but about learning to want less?
All right, first up, we have got to tackle the biggest myth of them all. The idea that a bigger bank account automatically means you're going to be happier. Turns out, the data tells a way more interesting story.
You've probably seen this number floating around before, right? It comes from a huge 2010 study by two Nobel laureates, Kahneman and Deaton. And what they found was that when it comes to our day-to-day happiness, the power of money starts to fizzle out right around an annual income of $75,000. So here's the kicker. Once your basic needs are met and you're comfortable, making more money doesn't really move the needle on your daily emotions. You know, how much joy or stress or sadness you feel. Sure, your overall life satisfaction might keep going up, but that feeling of everyday happiness, it pretty much hits a ceiling.
So if more money isn't really the answer to being happier, why are so many of us stuck in this loop of always chasing it? Well, let's dive into the psychology behind this, because it turns out our own minds are kind of working against us.
This quote is just brilliant because it perfectly explains something called the man-in-the-car paradox. Think about it. When you see someone driving a really flashy, expensive car, you don't actually think, wow, that person is so cool. No, you think, wow, if I had that car, people would think I'm cool. See the difference? We buy stuff to get admiration from others, but it almost never works the way we think it will.
And then there's this really powerful concept. It's called the hedonic treadmill. That buzz you get from a new purchase, a new phone, a new car, whatever, it fades, and it fades fast. We just adapt so quickly, and our happiness level just goes right back to where it started, leaving us looking for the next thing to buy. We're running and running, but emotionally, we're just staying in the same place.
You know, all of this really points to a huge misunderstanding about what wealth even is. We've been taught to look for it in all the wrong places. See, there's a massive difference between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich is all about your current income. It's visible. You see it in the fancy cars, the big houses, the designer clothes. But being wealthy, that's what you don't see. It's the money that hasn't been spent. It's the investments that are quietly growing, the assets in the bank that are giving you true financial freedom.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The very act of showing off how rich you are is the fastest way to become, well, less rich. Real wealth is quiet. It's having options. It's the freedom to choose how you live your life, not being trapped by the need to maintain some kind of image.
Okay, so if chasing more is a trap, what's the alternative? This is where the whole modern science of minimalism comes in. And it's not about deprivation, not at all. It's about intentionality and, ultimately, well-being.
Yeah, let's reframe this whole idea. Minimalism isn't an empty room with one chair in it. It's a life where you've intentionally cleared out the clutter, both the physical stuff and the mental noise, so you finally have the space, the time, and the energy for the things that you actually, truly care about. And this isn't just some nice idea, the science really backs it up. Research shows that when people voluntarily choose to live with less, they get these incredible psychological benefits. You gain a greater sense of autonomy, real control over your life. You build competence by mastering your simplified world. It frees up so much mental space, increases your awareness, and guess what? It leads to more positive emotions like joy and peace. And just listen to this quote from someone who took part in a minimalism study. It's so powerful. It just perfectly captures that shift from a life feeling burdened by stuff and all the work that comes with it to one that's full of freedom and joy. It's about trading your things for actual life experiences.
And what's so cool is that this is not a new idea, not by a long shot. Ancient Jewish texts like Pirkei Avad have taught for thousands of years that true meaning comes from things like humility and your character, not from status or what you own. There's this great teaching that wisdom was given at Mount Sinai, which was the most humble of all mountains, suggesting that greatness is found in simplicity, not in being loud and extravagant.
Okay, so let's pull all of this together into a practical guide. If you're going to spend money, how can you do it in a way that actually scientifically makes you happier?
This right here is the heart of it all. We need to stop talking about how much money we have and start focusing on how we use it. That is what actually moves the needle on happiness.
So the research points again and again to these 4 strategies. First, invest in experiences, not things.
The memories from a trip or a concert will last way longer than the thrill of a new gadget. Second, buy back your time. Use money to pay someone to do things you don't like cleaning or grocery shopping, so you have more hours for the things you love. Third, give generously. Seriously, spending on other people gives us a huge happiness boost. And finally, build a safety net. The peace of mind you get from having savings is priceless. It just slashes stress and makes you feel so much more stable.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. True wealth isn't really about what you can get. It's about what you realize you can live without. So ask yourself this. What is one thing, a possession, a subscription, an obligation, what is one thing you could let go of today to make more room for a truly wealthier life?